A very good day to everyone. Please feel free to browse around and view any of the other videos in this channel as well. I would like to take the chance to let you know that although I do these videos for free, a donation would really be helpful because making these videos are not free and I am currently between jobs. I will have a description of how you can make this donation at the end of this video. So let's continue with Roman Catholicism, the order of the Jesuits. I would like to continue where I left off last week and give you a few more quotes from Ignatius Loyola, the first superior general and the founder of the Society of Jesus. Immediately upon the death of any person of post, let them take timely care to get some friend of our society preferred in his room, but this must be cloaked, and with such cunning and management as to avoid giving the least suspicion of our intending to usurp the prince's authority. You see, they wanted, from the beginning up to now, what they wanted was to have one world order, to rule over the whole earth themselves. Usurping authority is also the agenda of Lucifer, by the way. Putting aside all private judgment, we should always be ready to accept this principle. I will believe that the white I see is black, if the hierarchical church so defines it. So to be a Catholic, a good Catholic, you must believe the lies as truths, as long as it is the church that lies to you. Interesting. Princes and persons of distinction everywhere must by all means be so managed that we may have their ear, and that will easily secure their hearts, by which way of proceeding all persons will become our creatures, and no one will dare to give the society the least disquiet or opposition. Finally, the society must endeavor to effect this at least, that having gotten the favor and authority of princes, those who does not love them at least fear them. I really did not need to comment on this one, I think. So, today I would like to talk about Paulo Sarpi. Born 1552, died 1623. Venetian patriot, scholar, scientist, and church reformer. Sarpi's biography, written by his admiring friend and fellow monk Fulgenzio Micanzio, said that even as a child, he was outstandingly serious and studious. He was a polymath with a photographic memory. Micanzio said, if he read a book, he knew all and could remember the very leaf where he had observed anything. On meeting him, experts often assume their speciality was his own. He was involved in many scientific advances, including Galileo's development of his telescope and his researches on sunspots. He also contributed to understanding the circulation of the blood. Watson called him a rare mathematician, even in the most abstruse parts thereof, and yet withal so expert in the history of plants as if he had never perused any book of nature. At 18, after a brilliant display of learning, he was made theologian to the court of Mantua, and then became professor of philosophy at the Servite convent at Venice. At 26, he was the youngest provincial in the 300-year history of the Servite order. At 35, he was given the second highest post in the order at Rome, but left 3 years later in disgust, saying, "Only ruffians, charlatans, and other devotees of pleasure and profit flourished there." Sarpi returned to his monastery in Venice, where he spent the years from 1588 to 1591, writing his Pensieri Philosophici. that means philosophical thoughts, his secret notes on religion. They were only published in complete form together with his other Penseeri in 1976. They reveal his unremitting antagonism to the church. In the state versus the church controversies that often flared up, he invariably supported the state. As for the church, it was the instrument of a powerful group that used it for their own end. Like Galileo, whom he often met in Venice, Sarpi believed that knowledge came about principally not by philosophical deduction but by induction, that is, by observation and experimentation. 3 centuries after Sarpi's death, Francis Yates pointed out that Sarpi's new attitude to religion, Palladio's new architecture and Galileo's new science were all aspects of a single approach to the world, a renaissance in thought. You see, the influence of the Catholic Church on Paulo Sarpi was such that he was disenchanted with religion altogether. Many atheists today believe that he was a great atheist of his time, albeit that the word atheist did not yet exist, and that he had to be one in secret for fear of the Inquisition. Even a non-religious, intelligent man like himself saw right through the Jesuit order. In the interdict crisis of 1605, Sarpi advised the state of Venice, and Pope Paul V never forgave Sarpi for flouting his authority. Paul V invited him to Rome for discussions, but Sarpi declined. This was prudent, since after being invited there, another Venetian opponent of Rome, Fulgenzio Manfredi, was hanged for heresy and burnt in the Campo di Fiori. In Venice, a gang, almost certainly acting with Pope Paul's approval, attacked Sarpi with stiletto daggers. The black patch covering the resultant scar on his cheek can be seen in this portrait at the Bodleian Library. After Sarpi's death in 1623, the church continued to attack him and tried to obliterate his memory. Michael Brandway, an English agent in Venice in the 1630s, wrote that the church burnt his effigy in Rome and wanted to have his body dug up and thrown to the dogs, but Venice refused to disturb his grave. Not until 1898 was permission given for his statue to be erected in Venice, near the site of his former monastery. Here are some quotes by Paulo Sarpi on the Jesuit order. They are a public plague, and a plague of the world. From the Jesuit colleges there never is sent a pupil obedient to his father, devoted to his country, loyal to his prince. Every species of vice finds its patronage in them. There is no perjury, nor sacrilege, nor patricide, nor incest, nor rapine, nor fraud, nor treason, which cannot be masked as meritorious beneath the mantle of their deception and dispensation. Seems that someone did pay attention to what this order is really about. I will close with this verse, written especially for those still in the Catholic Church, or even just those who are in non-Catholic churches but still practices Sunday worship and other Catholic traditions. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, "Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not her plagues." Thank you for watching, and be sure to tune in next week, Sunday night, for the next video on this series. Like I said earlier, if you would like to leave a donation, please do so by the card here, or you can click on the link in the description below. Thank you, and goodbye.